Do you know that the king of Israel, Saul, once turned to a witch for help? Despite being chosen by God and having everything he needed, Saul made a desperate decision that led to his downfall. In the days of King Saul, the nation of Israel was at war with the Philistines. Saul, the king, was terrified when he saw the mighty army of the Philistines gathered against him. He sought God's guidance but received no answer. No matter how much he prayed, God was silent. God would not speak to him through dreams, prophets, or Urim, a method of divine guidance. Saul, desperate for help, remembered the witch at Endor who could call up the spirits of the dead. Saul had previously commanded that all mediums and spiritists be driven out of the land, but in his desperation, he chose to seek her help. Disguising himself, Saul and 2 of his men went to the witch's home at night. When they arrived, Saul asked her to bring up the spirit of Samuel, the prophet who had died. The woman was initially afraid because she recognized that the king had outlawed such practices. But Saul swore to her by the Lord that she would not be punished for her actions. Reluctantly, the witch agreed and began her ritual to bring up Samuel's spirit. To her surprise, the spirit of Samuel appeared before her, and she screamed in fear. Saul then asked her what she saw, and she told him that she saw a spirit rising from the ground, looking like an old man wearing a robe. Saul knew it was Samuel, and he bowed down with his face to the ground. Samuel spoke to Saul, saying, "Why have you disturbed me by bringing me up?" Saul replied, "I am in great distress. The Philistines are fighting against me, and God has turned away from me. He no longer answers me either by prophets or by dreams. So I have called on you to tell me what to do." Samuel responded, "Why do you ask me, since the Lord has turned away from you and become your enemy? The Lord has done exactly what he said he would do. He has torn the kingdom out of your hands and given it to David, because you did not obey the Lord or carry out his fierce wrath against the Amalekites. The Lord has done this to you today. Moreover, the Lord will hand Israel over to the Philistines, and tomorrow you and your sons will be with me. The Lord will also give the army of Israel into the hands of the Philistines." Saul, terrified by these words, fell to the ground and was greatly afraid because of Samuel's message. He had eaten nothing for a whole day and night, and the woman, seeing his distress, urged him to eat. She prepared a meal for him, and he ate. Afterward, Saul and his men left and went on their way. The next day, as Samuel had foretold, Saul and his sons were killed in battle by the Philistines. The kingdom of Israel was lost to the Philistines, and Saul's tragic end marked the fulfillment of Samuel's prophecy. This story shows the desperate lengths Saul went to when he turned to the witch of Endor to seek guidance, despite God's command against such practices. It also marks the moment when Saul fully realized that God had rejected him as king. Like, share, follow, and subscribe for more insightful contents.